Hello, Brother Sewing and Crafting family. Angela Wolf here, Brother Brand Ambassador, and I'm super excited to see you. Today is a day for hot tea. Fall is in the air, big time. So we have a super fun tutorial for you today. Let's just say grab your yarn. That's a good way to put it. So pop in, say hi, say where you're from. I see we are live today, and I was just telling Kathy, I go, everybody's already here. We haven't even gone live yet. And I love it when you say hi first, because then I know that we're not just hanging out by ourselves. So here's your question. What brother machine do you have? And does your brother machine have couching on the sewing side, embroidery side, both, neither? We're just curious because this is one of the coolest things you can do, and it's fun. So let's bring up Kathy Stipe, Brother Educator. Kathy, I have to say, before we go into the couching, everybody loved your recipe show. It was like, I kept getting emails. Where are the recipes? Where are the recipes? I got them all posted for them. That was the coolest show ever.
Thank you. Thank you. And I want to say thank you to everybody who comes up and says hello to me when I'm working at a show. So I've
I
had,
love that.
I've
Speaking
met a
of,
lot
you
of
have a
people.
show. You have a show coming up next month or something, the Rusty Barn Show?
Yes, it's in Puyallup for quality sewing. So come see me.
Oh, that's awesome. We love those shows. And so don't forget that, everyone. Okay, so I gave a little hint that we're all talking about yarn today, which I love yarn. I love to crochet. I love to couch. Sometimes it turns out the way I want it. Sometimes it doesn't. That's the crochet part, not the embroidery part. So what are you going to show us today?
Well, to start with, I started with denim jeans. You can see these are kind of, it's missing the waistband. It's missing the legs. This is what I have left of my final project. I mean, I'm not throwing this out because, as I was talking before, we went live. Thrift store, because it's so popular right now to upcycle, thrift stores have gotten outrageous.
We were
So
just
I'm
talking about that. So save your stash.
save your stash. Don't donate it. Maybe hit up yard sales or something. I just didn't have time. But I recycled the denim into a vest. Let's see if I can get further back.
That is so cute.
So there's the front and there's the back. But a denim vest is just a denim vest, whether it's upcycled from old jeans or whether you're just purchasing yardage and making a denim vest. But to me, it's boring. So I wanted to add the couching. And I know that a lot of people have wondered about embroidery couching. And this is the embroidery font, couched font that's built into the Avenir. It was in the Luminaire as well. But I made the word as a patch, so to speak. And so then I use the sewing side to kind of cover up where I put the patch on the back.
Okay, that's really,
So,
really cute. Okay, so one thing, I have a sample that I carry around with me to remind people to look at their variegated yarn. Now, your variegated yarn on there with that blue looks fabulous. I did one with pink and mauve, and I was hoping for the mauve to come out, and all I got was some really dark red. It didn't even match my project, so now it's a sample. Yours turned out
yeah.
so good. Do you have any tips for finding the right yarn for your project?
Well, that particular yarn is no longer available. So, hence the reason why it was a patch, so that if I wanted to use it for something else, I could always take it off.
Perfect. There you go.
I mean, I've just had fun playing. This is a sample that I take with me a lot because it has couching and it has tapered stitches on it. And it just fits in my suitcase pretty well because it's small. Um, and then I tell everybody to think outside the box. This is a small pillow cover. This is
That's
from
cute.
the font. So let's turn it this way so we can see it. This is the letter C. Here's your C. Notice
Oh,
it's mirror imaged. So letter C all the way down, one just rotated. This right here on the side is in the punctuation. That's an exclamation point. And then these little bits in between the C's, that's the period in the punctuation as well. So you don't have to use the letters to create words. You can use them, just to play around with, combine them.
Okay,
And
I am sitting here with my mouth dropped open. I'm going to ask everybody watching, did anybody see the C or the exclamation point on that? I would have never thought of that. That's super creative. That's adorable. That's actually very chic. That'd make a great pillow.
well, and you have to know, because it is mine and your favorite machine, it was all put together with the serger.
Oh, let me see. Look at that. Yes, it is our favorite machine. For everybody who has the airflow serger, don't forget that you can still register your machine and get free access to our masterclass that Kathy and I did. Yeah.
That was so
Everyone's
fun.
saying, I don't see it. I don't see it. I know. I don't see it either. Okay. So I see a couple people saying they've tried coaching, they haven't tried coaching. I'm having problems with coaching. Well, you're going to love this episode because it's about coaching. Of course, she refashioned this vest, but there's a lot of tips that will help you with success on that. Glenda, you've got the Luminaire. I remember that. And you do have coaching. Yay. Okay.
So the first thing that I'm going to recommend, this is in the Avenir's owner's manual. If you need to print it out or pull it up on your tablet or whatever, read through these instructions before you begin for the first time. One of the things that you're going to have to do is over here on this side, it tells you to adjust the embroidery couching foot so that the needle is in I think it's the left side of it, the left half of it. But there's only like a few pages, and it gives you all the hints and tips. So do that first, and then get started and play. So I was playing around with some different yarns. This recommends, I think, a medium weight yarn. And, we've all got to try different things. So therefore, I have a whole bunch of yarn. This one right here is a sample that I stitched out. This is the same yarn that I used on the back of the vest for that design. This was the right color, but this yarn did not have as tight of a twist on it as some yarn does. So therefore, there were some areas that, depending on the direction, did not catch the yarn. And some of that could be the fact that I needed to adjust that screw on my the foot, and I'll show that to you whenever we get over to the machine.
And we were just talking about, that's a big thing. For those of you that are having any issues with your embroidery, not catching the yarn, what she's going to explain here about adjusting the screw on the foot will probably solve your problem. Not probably, it will solve your problem unless you're doing something crazy, because that really makes a difference. I think a lot of people move their needle and don't realize they need to move the foot. So this is going to be interesting. Take note.
This was one of those chenille type yarns, but it was kind of thin. And you'll notice that there are several places that it did not catch. So always, always test the yarn that you are going to use before you use it. This particular yarn, I don't know if you can see it well, but it has basically, it's just fibers with a cord or core that's lightly twisted around it. That did not work for embroidery at all. But it did work when I was using it just on the sewing part. So if it does not work for the embroidery side for couching, don't throw it out yet. Don't give it away. Just try it a different way. This was the same yarn that I used for the lettering on the back of the vest. And the reason I like it, it's nice and sparkly. My friend, Jerry Granada, I know you all know him. He told me about this yarn and I bought some. And in the meantime, they've discontinued it. So I kind of hoard what I've got of that particular yarn. Then I've got another yarn, and I didn't know how this one would work because you can see the little tufts of fluff kind of in between, but it worked just fine. So
I
that's
tried
a
a
yarn.
yarn like that. It was like black and gray, and I used it on a sleeve for the sewing side. It worked fantastic. I didn't try it on the embroidery side, and if you go slow, as long as it can fit through that little spot, it should work okay, but you never know.
You never know until you try. And this was just a side that I used just on the sewing side. Just you can go and you can make corners. I was practicing my corners before I did my patch on the back. And you can see you can use different stitches. I used a serpentine stitch here, and this one I just used a zigzag stitch. I don't think you
Oh,
can
I
see
never
this.
thought of using the serpentine. That looks cool on there.
Well, because it adds a little bit of extra interest to it, especially if you have a contrasting color.
It sure does. Has anybody else thought of that? That's a cool thing. Leave it to
So,
Kathy. She always gives us more creative things to think about.
so there's one thing that I want to point out, and we'll do that at the machine. So, Angela, I'm going to switch cameras and we're going to go to the machine.
All right. While she switches cameras, I'll take her out and I'll see her back here in just a second. So drop your questions live in the chat. Oh, I see you asking, did she wash her vest after it has couching on it? I actually have washed my couched items and had no problem. But we'll ask Kathy when she comes back. Kathy, have you
Yes, I
did
have
you
not.
wash your vest or have you washed anything with couching on it?
I had one of those faux pashmina type shawls with couching on
Oh,
it, and I hand washed that. I have
okay.
not put through the regular washing machine anything with couching as of yet.
Gotcha. All right,
So,
back to you. We're going to let you take it away. Drop your questions in the comments section, and I'll make sure I bring these up to Kathy here shortly.
okay, so what I want to go into first is embroidery. And under embroidery, you have this C category here, and that's my couching category. If I scroll, you can see I have all these different couching designs already built in. So there are 40 of them. And let's just, I don't know, we'll play with the heart for right now. I'll go ahead and set it. But notice under edit that if I go to resize, you notice anything different about the screen up here? I don't get to resize with stitch recalculation. So I can only resize up or down just a small bit. I thought that I maybe wanted to bring in a quilting design around it, but you notice my auto stipple is no longer highlighted. It's grayed out. But I can use my custom shape, and I'm going to change the distance because I want it to just be a heart. Maybe this one wasn't the greatest one to pick.
It looks like an angel with wings. Like an angel head. Now
Yeah.
it's a heart.
Okay. So I'm going to save that and say, okay. If I go to add and go to my design center, I get a pop-up. It tells me a couching pattern cannot be combined with a pattern from a different category. So that's something that you have to keep in mind. I have this little design that I did, and you can see the stippling around it, but I had to basically do it in 2 steps. So you can either do the couching first with the quilting behind it, but I would rather do the quilting with the couching on top. And that's because I don't want my embroidery foot, if it were doing the stippling around the outside, I don't want that to be caught with my embroidery foot. Does it make sense?
It sure does. That's really pretty too.
So it was bright. It showed up well. So what I want to do now is I want you to see that I'm going to go back to home and I'm going to get a pattern that I had saved, that same one that I just showed you with the couching and the stippling, and I'm going to set the couching one. But let's bring this up. Can you, I'm going to really zoom in. Can you see that this is, it kind of looks like a little triangular stitch? That's what is used for couching. So, whoops, wrong place. So I start with my yarn. It's just kind of puddled right there on my thread stand. It goes through the top of your thread stand, the holders. Then it goes down to the side of your machine. Let's go up just a little bit. You can see this piece right here just hooks into the machine. There's 2 little pegs on the bottom, and there's spots for them on the side. You feed it through the first thread guide or yarn guide. You feed it through the second yarn guide. And this is the embroidery couching foot. And I'll take it off in just a minute and I'll show it to you up close. But there is a pigtail up here that I've got the yarn run through. They give you, it's in a little plastic bag, a piece of lightweight cardboard with a wire to use to get the yarn through this hole in the foot. So out of all the couching feet I have, the first thing I do is I lose that wire. I had it last week. I could not find it this morning. So I want to show you my alternative.
I was just gonna say, I'm just curious how many people watching have misplaced that little piece, because I have many, many, many times, and your alternative is perfect.
So, I mean, not a brother product, but this works. It's just a flosser. So I put it through the hole in the foot. Then I'm going to take my yarn and feed it through that little eyelet. Everybody see that? And then I can just pull it through that hole in the bottom. So why I can keep up with that little flosser thing and I cannot keep up with the wire. I do not know.
I think everyone's on the same page with that. And Julie said her little wire thing is all bent up. So Julie, now you know, go get dental floss. Dental flosser, I think is what it's called. Not a Brother product, but it works.
Yep.
And the other thing I see somebody asking, did that just go through the needle? No, she pulled that through the foot. You actually have sewing thread in your needle.
Yes, there's thread in my needle, and there is, I don't know if you can see that feeding through if I pull it back and forth. Oops, and I just unthreaded my needle. So we'll pull that there, and then you can see that that is there. So I'm going to thread my needle since I pulled that thread out. Get that. And one of the things that I like to do, it's not necessary, but I always like to advance one stitch so that my yarn tail is over by where I'm going to start. Another thing I like to do, and it's not necessary, but I just take a sewing clip and hang on to that yarn tail on the outside of my hooped fabric. Personal preference. You have to find what works for you. Let me get this straightened back up, and I'll show you how this works. So you might notice that when it makes some turns, it may not catch right in the center of the yarn, but I have not had any where it has missed once I got that needle position or the foot position. It's not the needle. The needle stays in the same position. There's a screw. Let's see if I can point it out better with my little chopstick. A screw right here on the side, and it adjusts this foot right and left. And that's where you make the adjustment to make sure that it is sitting on the left-hand side of the opening. You know, it automatically slows the machine down when you are doing a couch design, because it just gives you a better stitch, not going at its fastest speed.
So while you have that stitching, I've got a couple questions for you that really pertain to that view right there. And Amanda wants to know, does the yarn have to be loose or tight? How do you make sure, someone else asked, how do you make sure the yarn feeds correctly?
Well, when I set it up, let's go up to view number 2. You can see it moving through there. I just have some just laying up there. My whole skein of yarn is behind my machine. If I see that I'm starting to run out, then I'll stop the machine and I'll pull some more out from the skein. I just don't like to pre-cut it, because then you end up with all these little bits, you know, and I wasted some of my good sparkly yarn.
Yeah, I never pre-cut mine either, because it's too hard to figure that out, but you can just keep taking more off, and especially if you're sewing, you might use a lot.
Yeah. So, and then we'll go down to the side. You can see it staying pretty tight right over there. It just, I don't know, it's magic.
It's magic. It's magic. So I see a couple of you asking that you have the Stillaire. Will this work on the Stillaire? The Stillaire does have couching for embroidery. Yeah. So you have to go under the couching designs and find them. That looks so good.
So, I mean, this is a 3-minute stitch out, even going this slow. And I'll take it off after I get the first half, because this was on my screen. It was too, we'll go back. It's the same design, just rotated and repeated. I did size it down just a hair. What I like when I combine designs is that it automatically will move over to the starting position of the next design. So then I wouldn't have to press, my +1 in my needle advance area. So if you're going to combine designs like I did with the lettering, what I do so I don't have to keep rethreading the yarn through this hole is I just pull out enough that I have a tail. So I have my 2 yarn tails right here. Let's see if we can go the right way. 2 yarn tails that I would pull to the back, and then I'm going to tie them in a knot. I use just a plain old, I guess it's called a tapestry needle. It has a real big eye in it. And it's kind of it's in between a sharp point and a blunt point. I tried the little plastic needles, but it wouldn't go through the fabric. You can always take an awl and poke yourself a hole. But I'm going to put that away now that I've shown it to you so that I don't lose it. So that part has finished stitching. So I'm going to just take it off the machine and I'll show you what it looks like. So there's half of it stitched.
That looks so good. That looks great on denim too. Don't you all love that? That is so cool.
Yeah.
That look great on jeans.
So one of the things with my jeans is I didn't do anything with pockets yet. I'm going to switch back to me instead of, because I don't like talking just in the background.
All right, while you're switching back, Amanda, she answered the question about yarn. She gave a whole description at the beginning, so go back and check that out for the best yarns. She kind of told what works, what doesn't. And also, Susan wants to know what brother machines have couching. Now, there's sewing couching and there's embroidery couching. The sewing couching has been around for a long time. The embroidery couching, what do we have? The Stellaire, the Avenir, the Luminaire? Is there any others? Oh, the Celeste.
Oh, yeah, I forget. It's brand new.
The new Celeste. So, yes, all 4 of those have that on the embroidery side. The Celeste embroidery machine, not the Celeste sewing side. So, drop a question if you guys have more. And then there was one more thing here that I missed. Go ahead.
The Celeste sewing machine only comes with the compact move it foot and all 5 attachments. And
yes, so for the sewing side, the Celeste has couching for sewing. The Celeste embroidery has the embroidery. Go ahead and show that. Oh, look at that.
This is the couching attachment for the compact move it foot. So I will switch over to that and I can show you some couching on the sewing side.
That sounds great. That foot is amazing. And also, I know some of you have older brother machines. Some of those have the sewing with the couching as well. So the couching with the embroidery was fairly new over the last few years. The sewing with couching has been there for quite a while.
Okay, so I'm going to switch to my move it foot and I will take the embroidery couching foot off. And at the very end, I will show you that. but this way you don't have to keep taking me on and off.
Sounds good. All right, I'll wait till you get back in. Let me see what other questions that we have. You're welcome, Susan. What machine do you have, by the way? Just curious. We've got some new people joining in. Hello, hello. Yes, we're sewing in the studio today. We're playing on all the Fun Brother machines. I'm making sure I didn't miss any questions. I think I asked this about the Stillaire. You're good. Hey, Lorraine. Yeah, looks good. All right, Kathy, are you good to be back?
Nope, not yet.
Not yet. She's working on her machine. Yeah.
I'm changing
All
the
right.
foot out.
I love your new sewing space, by the way. So what are we making? We're actually making blouses here. And we're doing embroidery, no couching, but that would be a great idea because what you're doing there would look really cool on a blouse sleeve or on the front of a blouse. I might have to show these ladies that.
There you go.
I know. Embroidering. We've got the 10 needle going. We've got the Avenir going. It's like creative heaven here. I'll tell them, hey, somebody needs to do some couching. I've got a whole basket of yarn downstairs that I'd be willing to share. Great to see you. Great to see you. Do you have any other questions for her, though? I can answer them while she's setting up her machine. She's just about ready.
I'm going to get it over here to the camera that's on the machine so you can see what I've got.
There we go. We can see it great. So she changed her foot. You can see that cord in the back she needs to plug in. But other than that, it looks great.
Oh, thank you for that reminder, Angela.
You're welcome.
Times I've tried to sew with my move it foot and I'm going, okay, what's wrong?
It's like not going. Okay, go.
It's not moving. So if I'm going to sew or go on the sewing side, and I am using a lightweight, like quilting weight cotton, I'm going to put a stabilizer behind it. This is just a lightweight tearaway, and that's what I normally use. But for demo purposes, it was easier for me to just put a fusible on the back of this, and you can't even really see it on camera. So here it is underneath my foot. You can see I have my needles still threaded. I'm going to find my little threader guy, and I'm constantly losing that thing.
Wait a minute, you just had it. You lost it again? You're worse than me.
I probably put it away.
Oh, that's so funny. She's got it. There it is. Oh, Susan, that SE 1900, that's a great machine too, by the way. If you end up upgrading, make sure you get a machine with Wi-Fi so it works with Artspira. That's just a little tip for you.
Oh, and I have been having so much fun. I've been playing with Artspira a lot lately. They've added all kinds of new stuff that I didn't even know. So I'm going to put this through the hole that's in this foot. And I'm just going to have my yarn kind of right here on my surface. But I want to make a quick change and show you my screen. In my utility stitches, notice that I have all of these stitches that are available with the exception of a few. So any one of those that I wanted to choose, and a lot of times I'll just use a straight stitch. Notice if you go to your character decorative stitches, none of them are available. So stick to the utility stitch category. Category 2 has a few. There's the serpentine stitch that I had used. Category 3, you've got more of your heirloomy type stitches. 4, you're not going to make a buttonhole with couched yarn. 5, you're not going to do directional sewing. And under quilting, the Q category, I have stitches that I can use as well. but I'm just going to scroll back and I'm on stitch 1-03, which is just a straight stitch center needle position. So we'll go back over here, and it's kind of fun sometimes to just make random patterns. I mean, you don't always have to stitch in a straight line. I'm letting this yarn, you see it right there in the front. I'm holding it kind of out in front of the machine. That's probably just about out of camera view. But now I'm dropping and knocking everything else off. So if you wanted to just make some random patterns and decorate some fabric, I've even seen people couch with free motion. And use that as their quilting on their quilt tops. And it really does add an extra decorative element.
I love those colors. You're not even using a circular attachment. Anybody popping in, that's not a circular attachment. She's just sewing randomly. Couching is in again. It's back.
Yeah. So the only thing I can't do is go backwards. I mean, it doesn't do that very well, but I mean, I can just change directions. I thought I would try and see if I could make a kind of a star.
Oh, that's looking good. I like that.
I think that to get the sharp points in a star, if I had used this narrow zigzag, that would work better. I would want to draw me a star before I started, but that's couching kind of on the sewing side.
That's we'll just call that a shooting star. It looks great.
Like I said, just weave the thread tails back to the back side and then knot them off. But I mean, I want to know everybody's thoughts. See my kind of wacky star.
It's fun. Esther wants to know, did you slow your speed down? Did you sew a little slower on that? So again, she's not embroidering on this one. She's actually sewing with couching. So you can go any speed you want to, really. But with the move it foot, I don't remember what the max speed is off the top of my head.
I don't know either. Let me change back to my front. Well, while we're here at a close-up, I don't know if you can see. Let me get my piece of blue fabric. Maybe get the side without all the lint. But can you see that hole that's in the bottom? This is where the yarn goes through. This is the
yeah, we can see that.
This is the pigtail that's off to the side. So when you're putting your yarn in this, you want to go over the top, and then it comes out the right direction to feed into this hole. This is the screw on the side that you adjust, and it attaches to your machine the normal way any screw-on presser foot attaches. See, there's a side view.
While you have that up there, it's that screw on the side that she's showing, the other side right there. That's the one that as you turn it right or left, it actually moves that foot right or left. So you're not adjusting your needle to the right or left position. I always try to bring that up because so many people say, well, it's not catching my yarn. And it shows you, there's a video on your machine, probably. I don't know what machine you have, but the Avenir has it. And you also have the manual that shows you where to move it. And that needle should be in the far left position.
Yeah, and I just use my hand wheel to lower my needle to make sure that I haven't adjusted it too far. I don't know if you can adjust it too far.
I
They may
haven't
have,
tried. I don't want to try.
I don't, well, I'll tell you one mistake that I did, and maybe this will keep somebody else from doing it. When I attached it to my machine, like I normally would any other screw-on foot, I forgot to tighten up this screw over here on the left. And during the middle of embroidering,
Oh, I'm picturing this.
it got really wobbly
Oh, no.
and I broke a needle.
Uh-oh. At least it didn't break
I
much else than the needle.
I mean, I have problems too. It's not, it's just because I was probably trying to hurry.
I'm glad you mentioned that though, because just in general in sewing, when you change your foot or you've been sewing for a long time, every morning I start sewing, I always check to make sure that that's tight, because through time, as you're sewing, maybe a little vibration, if it wasn't super tight, it can loosen up. And it's happened here in our classes many times. It's happened to myself. So I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you didn't break anything except the needle too, because that would have been ugly.
I just broke the needle. So here's the foot. I think you can see it a little bit better.
Yeah.
And the pigtail. And then here's the yarn guide.
Very
and
easy.
These are, I call them little knobby things, but there's two little holes on the side of your machine over here that fits in nicely.
Love it.
So
Love it. Okay, let's see what other questions we have coming in. Everybody's still talking about the C's, that they saw it and they didn't. Julie said she's done the fringy type. It doesn't work very well. Take another look at Kathy's vest here, because this looks great.
Okay. So this vest pattern was for a tweed type fabric that you were supposed to leave the edges raw and fringe out. These were stretch denim jeans that I purchased. So for the stretch denim jeans, that was not going to fray like I wanted it to. So I lined it. And as an afterthought, well, I got the lining in, and then I thought, well, how am I going to finish the armholes? And this is just a fold over elastic. So in case, so binding would work as well, a bias binding to go around in a curve. But I was being lazy and I had fold over elastic, and that worked well. Like I said, I'm probably going to put pockets down here. But one thing I wanted to point out, I told you that I took the waistband off those jeans. There's where the waistband ended up.
Oh, that's a great idea. Look at that. Very ingenious.
That was a little more difficult to sew because these were curvy jeans, so the waistband was not straight. So
you did a good job. It looks great. Everybody's saying this is so much fun. Julianne wants to know, once you adjust that foot for the yarn, for the couching, do you have to adjust it over and over? Not usually.
I don't usually, unless it's not catching, and then I might go back and make a small minor adjustment.
Right. Same here. I don't think I've ever, after I've adjusted mine, right when I get the machine or right when I start doing the couching, and for all of you in the master class, there's a full tutorial in there. I've never had to adjust it again, even going from thick to thin yarn, because if you adjust it to that far left position, it's going to hit any yarn that you have that, that fits correctly. Wouldn't you say, Kathy?
Yeah. So one of the yarns, I know it's something they call like an eyelash yarn. It's got all these little fibers hanging off of it. and it's a very small twist. That I tried and did not work well, and I think I ended up getting rid of that. But in all those samples that I showed earlier, I had pulled out of my yarn bucket um, a bunch of different types of yarn. Another one that did not work well was this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it probably would on the sewing side, but I don't think it's going to work on, I know it's not going to work on the embroidery side.
I will tell you, I have some of that yarn and it looks beautiful when I crochet it into a beautiful vest. But no, I've never tried it on the couching side with the embroidery because it's not going to catch everywhere. You're going to have, well, it could look kind of cool, like maybe like your star that looked like a shooting star could kind of blend in with it.
So, but I mean, it was on a clearance thing, so hence the reason I picked it up. It was worth it.
Why do I know one of your next projects going to be a beautiful vest, and that's going to be rows of decorative stitching over that beautiful yarn? Nothing to do with couching, but it'll look cool.
It could be. I mean, I could couch that yarn onto fabric. So
that would look good. That would look good. Everyone's saying great demo. Great demo, and it's great to see you as well.
Yarns.
Oh, what is that? Is that all your?
These are all my trials.
I love it.
So, and like I said, this one that had all those little knobby things or fluffs, I really did not think this was going to work well, but it worked excellent. So
I love that. Everybody's saying thank you. There's no other questions. Everybody said they love it. I love it too. So what do you like better, the embroidery side of the couching or the sewing side? I think I'm going to have to say both because I love the way you did the letters on the back of that vest, and then you were able to add the couching to kind of tie it all in as that patch.
Like this.
Yeah, I love that. That's really cool. Do you know how much you'd pay to have that on something that you buy in a store? A lot.
Well, you know what's really popular with the kids right now are those chenille letters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so make a chenille letter by couching yarn with the couched font, and then I scanned it in my design center, and I just used the drawing tools and drew around the letter so that I could get that satin stitch edge.
Oh, that looks really good.
You know, that was kind of fun to do as well. But I know that when I tried,
she did not show directional sewing. She's sticking to couching. Sorry.
oh no, with the couching, directional stitching is grayed out, so it won't work.
Perfect. Poor Lorraine, she's been waiting for directional sewing. Lorraine, I will send you a video on YouTube that I did where I attached lace to the side of jeans going sideways on it. I'll find it. It's on Brother Sews page or mine. I'll find it and make sure you get it because it's all directional sewing. But you cannot do directional sewing with couching. And I'm glad you showed that, Kathy. When you went on those screens, it showed you if it's grayed out, it won't work. So the machine knows what it can do and what it can't do.
And next time I have Cub Scout or Boy Scout patches to sew on little teeny tiny sleeves about this big around for my small grandchildren, I'll make a video of directional sewing because I could not have done their patches without it.
Oh yeah, the directional sewing is great. And Lorraine, I don't think there's a demo in the masterclass, but I do know I have a YouTube video on it, and I did it for Brother, attaching lace to the jeans. I slid the jean leg, you'll love this, Kathy, all the way up because you can take, you got the free arm, slid the jeans all the way up, put the lace, and just stitch sideways all the way that way, and then went all the way back. It was so simple. Yeah, very simple. So Lorraine, I totally forgot to ask her to do that at the beginning, so we'll do it next time. Actually, I didn't forget. I just knew we were doing couching. Everybody's saying thank you, thank you. So Kathy, they can find you at your next show.
Yes, it is, I think, the 13th, 14th, and 15th of November in Puyallup, Washington. I'll be working in Quality Sewing's booth at the
That's going to
Brother
be fun.
Machine.
That's going to be fun. So if you head to that show, be sure to go by, say hi to Kathy. Don't forget, though, if you're doing any of these projects, we've got a lot of great shows coming up. And if you do one, make sure to use brother hashtag brother. Wait, not brother hashtag. Hashtag brother sews. The other way. Yes, because then, and tag us. Tag myself. You can tag Kathy. We always love to see what you're working on. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. You'll never miss a live show. You know what I love about this? So many people have subscribed to the Brother Live Show. And this today, I've got a class here. We're all sewing away, and somebody says 30 minutes prior to the show, hey, your show starts in 30 minutes. Like, great, thanks. I don't even need an alarm clock.
There you go.
There you go. Well, everyone, thank you so much for being here. Any last things you want to share, Kathy?
Just come see us and keep sewing. Keep enjoying your machines.
Happy sewing, happy sewing. And there are some new things that opened up on Artspira. So if you missed that, pop in and check out your Artspira app. And I love that, Lorraine. Hit them with a ton of likes. Yes, we love you. Thank you, Lorraine. And I promise I'll send you this sideways sewing, directional sewing. We need to do that for a whole episode. That'd be fun. A challenge. How many things you could do for the directional sewing? I'm on it. All right, Kathy, till next time, happy sewing. Everyone else, thank you for watching us. I will see you on Thursday at noon. Laura Piper will be here. What was she doing? Something fabulous, I know. Something autumn and cozy. Oh, that could be good.
I'll have to tune in. I'm home.
Sounds good. All right, Kathy. Brother, Sewing and Crafting family, see you later. Till next time, happy sewing.